Hey everyone, it's Neil here from Post to Post. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you. Big win for the Montreal Canadiens. And as a Canadiens fan, I honestly never thought that I would be here making this video for you, talking about the Montreal Canadiens going to the Stanley Cup Finals. Like I almost don't believe it. That's to the point where it's at. I know I look younger than I am, but technically I've been alive for 2 Stanley Cups that the Montreal Canadiens have won. The first one I was 2 months old or something like that. The second one I don't remember at all. So this is the first time that I've consciously, I guess, seen my team go to the finals. So I'm just blown, I'm almost speechless. I'm blown away. This doesn't happen. So I'm still trying to process it all. It's the next day after the series closeout last night. I'm still trying to process it. I'm still trying to figure out what the heck just happened. How did Montreal beat Vegas? Who are they going to face? As I'm filming this, the Game 7 between the Islanders and Lightning hasn't happened yet, so I don't even know who they're going to face. But I'm blown away. I'm blown away. I'm almost speechless. So how did they get here? How did they get by Vegas? Let's talk about that just a little bit. I feel like Leonard played good this series. I know he's getting a lot of hate, but I'm not on that hate train. I thought Leonard played really well this entire series, and I thought Fleury was the worst of the 2 goalies. And I kind of see the opposite of that online, and I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand why there's so much hate towards Leonard. I think he played fantastic this series. He was the reason that they won game, was it 4? I think it was game 4 maybe. He was phenomenal. And I thought he was good last night as well. Obviously they didn't win, but I thought he played well. And I thought Fleury was questionable in at least 2 of those games. So to me, the nod goes to Leonard for a better goaltender in the series, or for the Vegas Golden Knights rather. Obviously, Carey Price was the better goaltender in the entire series. I also feel like Vegas lacks a little bit of offensive depth, which is not necessarily something I would ever picture myself saying or have said in the past. Most of their offensive contributions came from the back end, from the defensive core, and Pacioretty and Stone had their chances, capitalized on a couple, but generally were fairly invisible in the entire series, much due to the fact that, hey, the Canadiens can defend. They're kind of a hybrid team where 80 to 85% of their game is really defensively focused, but they can kind of flick that switch and go from 85-15 to 60-40 or something. So they can just draw a little bit out of the tank offensively. So it was interesting seeing them match up against the Vegas Golden Knights, who are a deep team, but they just seem to lack any kind of defensive or offensive depth, rather. So I feel like Vegas could have used more offensive depth in the 3rd and 4th line. Montreal spent a lot of time shutting down Pacioretty and Stone, and they could have used that extra arsenal basically behind them. That was a bit of play on words because their team store is called the Arsenal, or their store in the practice facility. I don't know. One's called the Army, one's called the Arsenal. You get it. So I don't know if Vegas losing is 100% due to Vegas or just the fact that they ran into Montreal. And Montreal is on... Listen, it's so strange, okay? You got Jonathan Drouin, who left for personal reasons halfway through the season or whenever it was. You've got the Jake Evans thing that happened in round 2. You've got Dominic Ducharme getting COVID and not being there for basically this entire series. You've got Claude Julien getting fired early in the year, and then Dominic Ducharme stepping in, and then Dominic Ducharme leaving because of COVID, and then Luke Richardson coming in. So Montreal is basically on their 3rd coach of the year. What else happened? Thomas Tatar sitting out. It's such a strange story. It's a very strange story for the Montreal Canadiens, and it's like they're having fun with it. Have you watched any of the post-game press conferences with Deneau and the rest of them? He's eating pizza, and they're just laughing. They're having a good time. This is something that movies are made out of. And I'm not saying they're going to win the Stanley Cup. I'm not even... It doesn't even matter if they win the Stanley Cup. It's just the run that they're on, the story that is developing with the team is just something that movies are made out of. They're the underdog from day one. They shouldn't even have made the playoffs. Carey Price has been phenomenal since the playoffs started, or rather since, game 4 or 5 of the Toronto series. And the team has really looked great since the same time as well. And I understand that this team is built to play in the playoffs and it's didn't have a great regular season. So it's hard to judge how the team is going to do from series to series. But I mean, guys, they beat the Maple Leafs, they beat the Winnipeg Jets, swept them, and then they just beat the Vegas Golden Knights in 6 games. If you're not believing in the Montreal Canadiens by now, then you have to. You have to. And I'm a naysayer. I predicted the Canadiens to get defeated by the Toronto Maple Leafs in 5 games. Why? Because I was basing my prediction on the regular season play. How could I possibly know that they would become this team in the playoffs? Nobody did. Anyone who legitimately predicted them to go to the finals is almost certainly a biased Montreal Canadiens fan. Nobody objectively or logically predicted the Canadiens to be where they are right now. And that's part of the story. They are defying everyone. And they don't care. They're just having fun, but they're being serious at the same time. They're in it to win it. And they're just fun to watch. And it's just about the personalities, too. Watching Cole Caulfield score a goal and not smile. What are you talking about? You can, I don't even know if you can legally drink yet. And you're scoring huge goals and you're not even smiling about it. What? And then you've got Suzuki and that storyline, and then Price playing so well. And now Price is going to his first Stanley Cup Finals ever. You got Shea Weber going to his first Stanley Cup Finals ever. And I'm really happy. A couple of people have asked me how I feel on Twitter. Or a couple of people on Twitter have asked me how I felt. And I haven't really responded. Maybe a little bit. My general response is I will be very excited when they're 1 win away from the Stanley Cup if they get that far. I'm not saying they're going to get at least 3 wins against either the Islanders or the Tampa, but if they get that far and they're 1 win away and the Stanley Cup is in the building, wherever building that might be, then I will be excited. But for right now, I'm optimistic. I feel very good about the team, but I'm still cautious because of what happened in 2010. There's a saying, you fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Is that how it goes? I was fooled by the Montreal Canadiens in 2010, and it was crushing. It was crushing because that was the first time that since I became an adult, basically, that they legitimately looked like they could actually win the Stanley Cup. And then in 2014, they didn't fool me. I fooled myself because I believed in them, and Carey Price got hurt. I know it's not, there's a whole conversation for another video, but I was fooled. And I was crushed again. And here we are. It's 7 years later, 2021, and the Montreal Canadiens are in the semifinals. And I feel good, but I'm still cautious. And then they defeat the Vegas Golden Knights, and now they're on to the Stanley Cup Finals. And I'm still cautious. I feel very good about the Montreal Canadiens. I legitimately believe that the Montreal Canadiens can defeat the Tampa Bay Lightning or the Islanders. And I'm going to save that conversation and why I think that for the series preview video, which will come in a couple of days once I actually know who they're going to play. But I really do believe in the Montreal Canadiens, but I'm still cautious. I'm very happy with what they've done so far these playoffs. I was happy that they beat Toronto. That was the victory for me. And they've just exceeded my expectations week by week. And here we are. They're playing in the finals. And that's what I'm really happy about. I'm not necessarily happy that, the Montreal Canadiens get a chance to win the Stanley Cup. Don't get me wrong, I am happy about that. But most of my happiness that I have right now is for Shea Weber and for Carey Price. Because even if they don't win the Stanley Cup, I want them to have that experience of at least getting to the big dance and going through that experience of being in the finals. Because that is something it's rare for a player. Most players in the NHL never get to go to the Stanley Cup Finals. Most barely get to go to the semifinals. So the fact that they are both on their last half of their career and they get to be in the finals now makes me more happy than anything else, because I do believe Carey Price deserves to be there. Yeah, he's been super inconsistent in the regular season in the last, 5 years. But he had so many incredible seasons before that, specifically in 2014, and he deserved to be in the Stanley Cup Finals then, and he didn't get to go. So Carey Price deserves to be in the finals. Shea Weber deserves to be in the finals. Yeah, he makes mistakes, but he deserves to be in the finals. The entire team deserves to be there, guys. They've played so well defensively, and I am happy, but I'm cautious. That's the best I can wrap it up. I don't know. It's weird. It's very strange. I usually, You know, when Montreal Canadiens get knocked out of the playoffs, I'm like, it's almost a sigh of relief. Like, I just can enjoy the rest of the playoffs now. I can just enjoy the hockey because it is stressful. It is very stressful. And I have to say, I appreciate all the fans out there who aren't Montreal Canadiens fans and are jumping on board with the Canadiens through their run prior to Winnipeg, prior to Vegas, and now prior to the Stanley Cup Finals. Just the fact that they're not really jumping on board because for a bandwagon reason, like, oh man, the Montreal Canadiens are incredible. They're definitely going to win. I'm cheering for them. It's not really about that from the most of what I've seen. It's about, man, their story is so cool. Like, they're the underdog. They have so many little stories from within the organization, like Suzuki and Caulfield and Price and the coaching stuff and whatnot. So it's cool to see that. It's cool to see fans from other teams jump on board with the Montreal Canadiens because of their story, not necessarily because they're a good team. So that makes me feel pretty warm in the heart. What I was disappointed with was the amount of fans that completely trashed all the businesses and cop cars in Montreal last night. Like, I just don't get it. Like, why would you destroy your own city? Why can't you just party normally? Why do you have to destroy stuff? It just makes them look bad, in my opinion. So that's the only thing I didn't like about last night. But I'm nervous. My heart is beating, even though the finals hasn't started yet. But I will be making a series preview video, like I said earlier. I'll be giving my full prediction and why I think Montreal Canadiens can beat either of the two teams, Tampa or the Islanders. There will be a video like this coming out probably tomorrow or the next day with my dad, the GOAT, giving his thoughts on the series as well, the Vegas Canadiens series. And maybe he'll give some thoughts on the series to come as well. I don't know when he's filming it. He might actually be filming that in a couple of hours prior to the Islanders-Tampa game. So maybe he won't talk about that upcoming series. But if he doesn't, then maybe I'll ask him to film something for that preview video that I do. Anyways, just want to give you guys a heads up. We'd love it if you could hit the subscribe button down below. Wish me luck. My heart's going to need it, guys. My heart's going to need it these next couple of weeks. I need the support. All right, guys, thanks. I appreciate you. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Adios.